I mean, I know the Latin difference. I'm just a little confused in how they translate differently because when I'm looking at the book and like each example is like the same. I don't know.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
had some trouble with the homework. And like not the difference, I guess, but just I get maybe identifying them and translating them, especially English to Latin, more so than Latin to English. Because like when you're in Latin, you can like see it, but then like I feel like I have so many, and then I'm like, but wait, it's what if it's a different participle, but it probably wasn't because we're just practicing this in this chapter or something. Yeah, it was. I
Okay,
had some.
so a gerund is a verbal noun. A participle is a
Yes.
verbal adjective.
Yeah.
Hopefully that should be. Um,
But the gerundive is a verbal adjective, right?
yes.
Okay.
Um, okay, well maybe we should start with the English to Latin and just talk through that. Maybe not even translate, but just say, do we have
Okay.
any impersonals? Do we have any? Would there be any cause for the use of the gerund or gerundive in which
Yeah.
to be used, and how would that look like? Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so the first one. The queen was so ashamed of her burning love for the handsome stranger that she drove him from the city. We have an impersonal here.
Um, no, unless you wanted to use it shames, I guess.
Yeah, it shames.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Should I
it
do
was
that? Yeah.
shaming. Yeah,
Okay.
it was shaming. So you would say pudebat, right? And then it was
Okay.
shaming someone, person who is shamed in the accusative, and the cause of the shame in the genitive. So it was shaming the queen, reginam, of her love, amores. Okay, is there a use for a gerund or gerundive in this sentence?
Shame. Yes.
Nathan, what do you think?
Yes. It would be it would be would it be burning? To burn?
So burning is clearly derived from the verb to burn.
Yeah.
But what is that? It's not a verb. What kind of word is it?
It's it's an adjective.
It's an adjective. Good. So if it's a verbal adjective, it's also called a what?
Gerundive?
So
Or participle?
a participle. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So a gerundive, basically, you should think about it as the alternative for the verbal noun when you want the verbal noun to have a direct object. But it's not. In terms of English to Latin, you're not going to see it as a verbal adjective.
Okay. It literally says in the book a gerundive is a verbal adjective.
Yes, it is a verbal adjective. It is a participle. But when you see it in English, you're going to see English will be a verbal noun.
Okay.
Yes, it is verbal adjective. So what kind of participle will burning be?
Present active.
Yes, so the love is doing the burning and it is doing at the same time as the shame, right? Yep, exactly. And then what kind of clause is that she drove him from her state?
It's part of an indirect statement.
No.
Is it a result clause?
Yes, it's a result clause. She was so ashamed that, with the result that, she drove him from her state. Yeah. So can you use a gerund or gerundive instead of a result clause?
No.
No. No. You can use a gerund or gerundive instead of a purpose clause, but not a result clause.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, yeah. Okay, so we'd have to use ut plus a subjunctive. A sequence of tenses.
Right.
Good. Okay. How about number 2? In order to terrify the citizens, the legate ordered the troops that they attack and destroy their province. Any impersonals here?
No.
Nope. Okay, good. Any use for gerund or gerundive here?
No. Wait.
To terrify?
Yeah, so in order to terrify is what sort of clause?
Purpose clause.
Oh, purpose, yeah.
A purpose clause. And how can we construct a purpose clause?
But you can't start with an ut, right? So
You could actually start with an ut.
you could? Oh, okay.
So you could have an ut with a subjunctive, or what else?
Odd.
Odd plus what?
The accusative.
The accusative what?
Gerund.
Yes. Odd plus a gerund in the accusative case. Or you could have
you could have ut with subjunctive.
that was the first option.
Oh.
So ut plus a subjunctive, or odd plus a gerund in the accusative case, or odd plus a gerundive in the accusative case, or causa with a gerund or gerundive in the genitive case, or qui with the subjunctive. So
It's a lot of options.
a lot of options. Okay, so let's try to create all of those. Okay, so citizens, kiwis, terrify, tereo, terere. Second conjugation. Okay, so in order to terrify the citizens, the legates order the troops. So there are multiple people. Well, is he trying to terrify the citizens, or are the troops trying to terrify the citizens? It must be he. Okay, so we'll have he be the terrifying if we're using the subjunctive. So Corey, would you do ut plus the subjunctive? Rachel, will you do odd plus the gerund? Nathan, can you do causa plus the gerundive?
Sure.
Okay. So put it in the group chat.
Okay.
That's just for the first part.
Yep, just the first part. Okay, so
I corrected mine. Accidentally used inhabitants, and then
Yes, but you have an infinitive, not a subjunctive.
that's right, I do.
So you do want the imperfect subjunctive, which is formed from the infinitive. You just need
Oh, I do. Okay.
to make it a subjunctive, not just an infinitive.
Okay.
So, Ted,
So do I want that third person singular then, or?
yeah.
Okay. I see. So. Uh,
Yes, there we go. So, in order that he might terrify the citizens, the legate did some orders to destroy their province. Is this clear how ut QS Tederet is working? Yeah.
yeah, I think so.
Okay. So then the next one was odd plus the gerund. Which one you did? Odd QS.
I messed that up.
Terendum.
Ignore the IB.
Okay, so odd QS terendum. Right? So what case is terendum?
In the accusative.
Why isn't it in the accusative?
Because odd plus the accusative gives.
Yeah, it's the object.
I don't know.
It's the object of the preposition odd. It takes an accusative case.
Okay.
What case is QS?
I have it as accusative plural.
Yeah, why is it
Because
accusative?
the citizens are the ones being terrified. And I wasn't sure if I was supposed to put that as an indirect object because I know the gerund is a verbal noun. So, like, it's the accusative, it's already the direct object.
What's already the direct object?
Terendum.
Of what verb?
Itself, I guess. No, okay.
So terrifying is terrifying itself?
I'm not. We don't have a verb other than terendum.
No. So terendum is not a direct object. It's the object of a preposition.
Okay.
Now,
But QAce is the
it's the
direct object.
Of
Terendum.
exactly.
Okay.
Terrifying is directly acting on the citizens. So QS is the direct object of the gerund. Good. Now, that's not highly Latinate. Odd plus a gerund plus a direct object. Latin would prefer odd plus a gerundive. So not for terrifying citizens, but for citizens being terrified. So can we come up with that? The gerundive version of this sentence?
Okay.
So to make this a gerundive, what do we need to do?
Make it agree with QAs.
Mm-hmm. So for the citizens being terrified.
Yeah.
So QS is going to stay accusative. Now it's going to be the object of odd. And terendum make that agree with QS.
So make it plural.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Then what? Yeah.
Es?
2 and 2.
No. Oh.
Nathan, what's the accusative plural? Come on.
Accusative plural of It would be os.
Masculine.
Os.
Aterendos. Good.
Okay.
Arquivos terendos. Okay. Good. And then, so then Kiwes terendi causa, which Nathan put up there, is that the gerund or the gerundive?
It's the gerund.
It's the gerund. Good.
Yes.
Yes. Causa terendi, for the sake of terrifying. So terendi is what case, Nathan?
That is genitive,
Why is it genitive?
because that's what it says. The genitive needs to be.
Yes, causa takes the genitive.
How to take genitive.
And then what case is kiwes?
That is accusative plural,
And why is it accusative?
because it is the object
Of
of terrified. They're being terrified.
terrifying. Well, being terrified is passive, terrifying is active. And that
Right.
really matters, so let's
Okay.
be careful about this, because the gerund is active. For the sake of terrifying, actively, the direct object, citizens. Now, let's do this as the gerundive. For the sake of citizens being terrified, so that's a passive version using a gerundive instead of a gerund.
Right.
Anyone? What happens to QS? Does it?
Well, nothing, because technically it just become the nominative then, and then it stays the same.
Nope, it doesn't become nominative.
Days accusative.
No. For the sake of what?
For the sake of being afraid.
That would be a verbal noun. Being afraid, that's a noun.
Yeah.
But we have a gerundive, which is a verbal adjective. So it's for the sake of citizens. What kind of citizens? The being afraid citizens.
For the sake of the being afraid citizens.
Which
Oh.
means-
Genitive, because it's with the causa, and causa
Yes.
has to take a genitive.
Good. So kiwium, and then the gerundive is going to modify that. Agree with it.
Gotcha. So then that goes
So,
to the genitive, because then.
Teren,
dis.
Yeah. and teren splits.
Oh, plural. Teren, and then it's a 2-1-2.
Yeah.
Aurum.
Kiwium terendorum causa. Yeah. Good. Okay. Does that make clear? That just clarify everything. Maybe. And we could also do quick US test, right? These are all options. Now you say, well, how do you know which one to use? Well, it depends. How do you feel? If you already have a result clause in the sentence, maybe you don't want to use oops. If you want to throw in more ideas, a slightly more complex clause, probably a gerundive or a gerund isn't going to do the trick, because can't have too many things going on in a clause like that, whereas an oot clause could have a lot going on. But really, it's about style and how you feel. They're all express purpose. So there's no. In order to terrify the citizens, there's no way that you can know, oh, one of those is right and one of them is wrong. No, they're all right. They're all legitimate ways to express purpose. How about number 3? Unless you have any questions about that. No? Okay. The art of writing a poem is so difficult that very few men are desirous of learning how it should be done. Oh, I was going to give you a quiz, wasn't I?
I thought so.
Yeah.
I mean, you
I was
don't
gonna say
have
unless
to.
you are.
I,
You
I
totally
wouldn't mind
don't have
trying,
to.
though. I could use some more points, maybe. I think I'm getting better at this.
Okay, why don't we finish maybe doing a little of this and then I'll give you a quiz. I wrote it and everything, but
I was
Got
gonna say
excited.
unless you were. So.
We can always take it tomorrow.
You can take another one.
Okay.
Okay. So what's the construction of this sentence? Wow. The art of writing a poem is so difficult that very few men are desirous of learning how it should be done.
Is that a result clause?
Yeah. That's the main. The art of writing a poem is so difficult that very few men are desirous of learning. So the art is so difficult that very few men are desirous is really the core. Then how it should be done, what is that? Nathan, this is your favorite. Which I'm not your favorite.
What?
Said this is your favorite sort of clause, which I mean, your least favorite. How it should be done?
Oh, as a indirect question.
Indirect question. Yes, they're learning the answer to the question. How should it be done? How should the art of poetry be done? Right. So how it should be done? How do you form an indirect question?
Interrogative.
Interrogative word. And
subjunctive.
Subjunctive, yeah. So something like quomodo facienda sit. Not facienda est, how is it to be done? But quomodo facienda sit, how it should be done. Do you have occasion for using either a gerund or gerundio? Or both, perhaps?
I think I had like for of writing and so difficult. Or of writing.
Of writing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
And what did you use there?
I think I just did a gerund.
Yep. The art of writing. And then what would a poem be?
In the accusative.
Yes. So, ars vivendi, the direct object of writing. But a slightly more Latinate way of saying that would be
using the gerundive.
Mm-hmm. Can you do that?
So then you would change scrivendi to agree with Carmen. And then you change it into the accusative.
Why?
Or no, gender numbering case, because it's a verbal adjective.
Yeah, but what
it's like
case
a poem
should Carmen
to be written.
be? Carmen is no longer the direct object of scrivendi.
So okay, it's not genitive because we don't have causa.
Well, it could be. We can have genitives without cows.
Okay.
It's the art of a poem being written. Right?
Oh, so it is genitive.
Yeah. So
Okay.
ars.
And then shoot. Carmen. So that's the third declension.
Carmen, Carmenus.
So carmium. Or no, that's plural.
Carmenus.
Carmenus. Okay.
Ars
And then scribendi, because it's still singular. Okay.
Ars Carmenus scribendi. Good. Carminum scribendorum would be plural, the art of writing poems. Good. And then, is there another one?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. What is that?
Learning.
Yes, learning. And would you use a gerund or gerundive there?
Gerund.
Yes. Could you use a gerundive?
I think so. I think you could. No.
No. So because the gerund doesn't take a direct object, you can't substitute with a gerundive.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Because what being learned? No. Doesn't make any sense. Good.
How come the art, I don't know, of writing, so like art and poem, why aren't those direct objects?
So
Well, I
the
guess
art.
poem. Why is poem not direct?
It can be. So
can
ars carmen scribendi could be the direct object of writing.
Mhm.
The art of writing. Writing what? Writing a poem. Ars carmen scribendi. You can do that just fine. But Latin prefers, if you can do it like that, to use instead of a gerundive, the art of a poem being written.
Okay.
Why is that? I don't know.
Okay.
But they just do. Good. How about learning about other people's laws bores me? Do you have how would you do that? Pretty sure none of you did this one, so you're all seeing it for the first time. So bores, right, is a non-personal. So it bores me
to learn about other people's laws. To learn.
Yes. So
then would learning be in the gerund?
what case would you put the gerund in?
Would be the accusative?
No, because it bores me. I am the one who's bored. So you could either do.
So then would it be the nominative then? Because that's learning about other people's laws bores you.
But it wants to be dative. Is it dative or ablative? No. Goodness.
So it's an impersonal. So it bores me.
Okay.
So it can't be the noun. Tied it may. It can't be the subject really. You could either say a genitive, the source of the boredom. It bores me. Discendi, of learning other people's laws, Or use the infinitive. It bores me to learn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember the infinitive is the nominative in some sense of the gerund. Good. Okay. We don't even have time to read our own. Not sure exactly how the boredom fits in, but whatever. Questions?
So that would be to read. Would that be the nominative? Same thing like the nominative gerund, because it'd be the infinitive.
Is it? I think it would be a dative gerund.
Uh,
I don't have time for reading.
Oh, okay. I mean, I just saw to read, so I saw it as the infinitive, and
But I don't have time. I do not have a direct object
Yeah.
time.
for reading. Okay.
To read, yeah.
Oh yeah, I see. I mean, it could be. It could be the dative, I guess.
Is it? Yeah, that's what I would do
Yeah, to read.
for reading.
Yeah,
To
for
reading, I don't have time for reading.
I don't have time for reading.
Okay. So why don't we pause briefly and well, you know what? No, let's keep going and then we'll take a no, I'll give it to you now. Try to take it in 10 minutes.
Okay. And it's a synopsis, right?
Yep, it is a synopsis.
Get it.
Okay.
Okay.
Trying to email it to you. There you go.
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah, got it.
Could try to finish up some. Okay. So then, did we get to 42 for the homework? Rachel and Nathan, you're both muted, so.
42 on
Say that again?
what chapter? 6.
60.
16. I made an attempt and I got through more than half of it, but I don't
Okay.
like it didn't make too much sense. So I'm kind of like, okay. And then I got through part of 43 as well. So that
Okay.
one seemed a bit better.
Wait, were we supposed to do that? I thought I don't know. I thought you didn't assign anything for Latin to English because it says on the syllabus to be assigned. I must have missed it or something.
What happened is you were looking at no, you weren't looking a day back.
Oh,
A day back says exercise 142 to 43.
Let me get more.
because we're still a day back. In terms of treating chapters. Okay. So would you like to do a syllogism?
Of course.
Or Seneca on slavery?
Say the
I think
former.
actually- yes, I think we should. I think the syllogism actually has some good practice for these constructions that we use.
Yeah.
So the question is does divination exist or does it not exist? So he starts out, si sunt di neque ante dicunt hominibus quae futura sint out, blah, blah, blah. So if there is not divination, then there has to not be divination for one of several reasons. And the outs give you all the reasons. And then he goes through down to possunt, which is 2, 4 on the 5th line, significare possunt. And then at neque non diligunt nos, etc., is where he refutes all the possibilities that he's proposed in the out section. Neque, 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 going all the way down. So then he says at the last word of 275, sunt autem Dei, so gods exist, and having ruled out all of the reasons why, if gods exist, divination might not be possible. Then he says, well, therefore, since gods exist, and all the reasons, we've ruled out all the reasons why they might not reveal things to us, then they must reveal things to us, and if they reveal things to us, they must give us a way to see those things, and therefore divination exists. So that's the structure of this, just to point. It is sort of difficult. Rachel, why don't you start us off?
Okay.
And why don't you go to Nesciunt?
To Nesciunt.
Halfway
Okay.
through the second one.
Okay. So for the beginning, I had if the gods are neither speaking before the people, which
What is our speaking?
dicunt
Is they are speaking.
spoke.
No,
It should be spoke because it's perfect, isn't it?
No, dico dicere is present.
Oh, okay.
They are speaking is the present progressive, right? They speak or they are speaking. So did you actually translate sunt?
Oh, okay.
No.
No,
So
I just
si di sunt, neque they are speaking, ante hominibus. They're telling.
so if the gods exist,
Exactly. If the gods exist, neque meaning nor or and not. So
okay. If the gods exist
Mhm.
and not, and they
Mhm.
speak,
and they do not speak or they do
and
not
they do not
tell.
speak before or to people.
Yeah, and they don't tell people beforehand.
Okay, if gods exist and they do not tell people beforehand, so futura sint, like
Mhm.
that. So that's the future or that's one of the infinitives. Or is it not the infinitive? Apologies. A participle.
Yeah,
It's-
futuro
okay.
satum is a participle, plus an infinitive would make an infinitive.
Yeah.
Futurus esse, but we don't have, sint is not an infinitive.
Yeah. Which, so then it's subjunctive.
Quae futura sint. So they tell people quae,
What
yeah, things which, what, sint, futura.
allegedly exist because it's quae and then the subjunctive. That's quote and then the subjunctive.
Quote and subjunctive.
Okay.
They tell people what is futura going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
So that just means what is going to happen?
Yeah, futura going to be, sint
Okay.
is. It's a paraphrastic.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so quae here is not a relative, but they tell people.
And what's about to happen? An indirect question.
Exactly.
Okay.
They tell people the answer to the question, what's going to happen?
Okay.
Okay. So if gods exist and they don't tell people what's going to happen before it happens, then the reason for this is one of several options, right? Out, non diligunt homines.
So
Yeah. You want to go back
out
in?
is or?
Or, but out means either or.
Okay.
We don't say or. We start with either.
Okay.
Or either, depending on where you're from.
So either they are not fond of people
Mm-hmm. We don't like people.
or what? It is what?
So, or, maybe we need the main verb first.
Or it is necessary.
Where's necessary?
No, nesciunt.
Nesciunt is scio, sciere, do you remember?
Oh, so they do not know
Right, they
what is
don't
about to happen.
what is going to happen. Good, so quid futurum sit is what kind of construction?
Do not know. Is that an indirect question again?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Nathan, will you take the next one?
Sure. Or now arbitrantur, that's a deponent, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, or they judge.
Mm-hmm.
They judge not okay, so hold on. Not not interests of man. No.
So what does nihil mean?
None.
No.
Nothing.
Nothing. A nihilist is a nothingist. So it is of interest nihil. So yes, it is not at all. It doesn't interest in any way.
It's not at all of interest. Okay.
It
Is
is not at all in the interests of men.
In the interests of men, to know.
Mhm.
Interest of men, to know what will be.
What is going to happen? Okay. So what kind of construction is quid sit futurum?
What kind of construction is it? I don't know. Is that a?
It's the exact same construction as quid futurum sit was.
I don't remember. I don't.
Are you listening?
I was. Yes.
A little distracted. Okay.
Distracted.
Quid is an interrogative pronoun.
Right.
So if it's an interrogative pronoun with a subjunctive, it's going to be an
Interrogative pronoun with a subjunctive.
yes. An interrogative pronoun means a question pronoun. So
An indirect question.
an indirect question, right? It is of no interest to men to know what is going to happen. To know the answer to the question, what's going to happen.
Okay.
Okay. And then nihil inter esse. You know what kind of construction that they judge
They judge.
that.
It's an indirect statement.
Exactly. Nihil, accusative.
Yeah, because that's accused. Yeah.
Inter esse, infinitive. Yes, it is of interest, not at all of men. It's something personal, but yeah.
Okay.
Good. Corey?
Okay, so this is a. Hold on. Give me a minute.
This is a weird construction at the beginning.
Yeah. So is that a relative clause in the beginning?
Where?
With the non.
No. Oh,
No.
non-putant esse?
Yeah.
No.
No. Okay.
But I'm trying to think where we found this.
Okay.
Sui gloriae is a genitive of characteristic.
Okay.
Or there's another word that we called it.
Characteristic.
Predicate genitive, yes.
Predicate
Genitive of character. Which one's it? So it is the mark of, or
it is the mark of glory.
Their glory, yes. So,
okay.
So either they don't like people, or they don't know what's going to happen, or they don't think it matters to us to know what's going to happen, or non putant esse sue gloriae praesi significare hominibus qualificis.
Oh goodness. Okay. So, well, I have two clauses here, right?
Several, yes.
Several.
3, I think.
3. Okay. I clearly see 2. Is the other one starting with suai or essa?
Yes. So non putant main clause. Esse sua gloriae
Mhm.
prae significare hominibus.
Oh, that those two words are one clause right there.
No. Esse to
Okay.
hominibus is one clause, and then quae sunt futura.
Sunt futura. Okay. So, and I'm sorry. What is it puto? Is that
Puto putare,
putari?
to think.
To think.
Putative means
Oh, okay.
supposed thought.
Okay. So, or they do not think
Mm-hmm.
about what the future is.
Well, de.
Uh,
So they do not think esse sue gloriae. So that's
yeah.
the
So
main
I'm
part.
sorry. I skipped you.
Okay, yeah, that
Quae
was
sunt futura.
yeah. So
Okay.
or they do not think,
So,
and thinking probably is going to trigger. Well, not often will
and
trigger
indirect statement.
statement. Exactly.
Or they do not think that
Mm-hmm.
it is the mark of glory
Of their glory. What is the mark of their glory? To prae significare hominibus.
to something with humans.
Yes, and that's in your
It's
glossary, which is
like
on the
to
next
share.
page.
Oh, okay.
So to signify beforehand, to indicate beforehand, to reveal.
Okay. So like a premonition almost.
To show beforehand.
Prognosticate. Share with humans beforehand the things that belong to the future or what is of the
Yeah.
future.
What futura? What's going to be?
Okay.
Okay. Good. So esse sua gloria prae significare. That's an indirect statement, as you said. Quae sunt futura? What is that?
That's an indirect question. No.
An indirect? No.
Sorry,
That would be
because that's a
sint.
relative.
Right.
Yeah, so it's a relative clause.
It's just a simple relative clause. So
Okay.
to signify the things which are going to be. It's just telling us more about the things that they don't think it belongs to their glory to signify.
Okay.
Um,
Place.
okay. Good. Questions about that?
No, I don't think so.
Rachel?
So out ea ne ipsi quidem de significare possunt.
Mm-hmm. And do you remember ne quidem? Maybe you learned it in this. I don't remember seeing it.
But I think I remember. Oh goodness, I remember translating that and looking it up, and then it was like because.
I'm trying to find where you all learned it. Let's not see it in this chapter. Ne quidem. Unit 15. Okay.
Okay.
So ne quidem means not even, and they're
Okay.
placed around the words that they're talking about. So you don't say
Okay.
ne quidem together, but they go around other ones.
Okay. So, or she's not able,
She is not able.
or I guess the ea. I'm unsure of that word.
Well, possunt.
To be able, they are able.
They are able. So ea could be what? Couldn't be feminine nominative because that couldn't possibly.
Oh, so neuter nominative
Or
accusative.
yes. Okay. So it could be either neuter nominative or accusative. Then ne ipsi quidem d. Ipsi d.
Even So the gods themselves.
Yes, so that is, as you translated, what case and number?
Plural and nominative.
So,
Plural?
yes, so Ea has to be,
Nominative plural.
if the gods are the subject, then the neuter Ea.
Oh, accusative.
Yes, exactly.
So in order, even the gods themselves,
Not even the gods themselves.
not even the gods themselves, are able to report this.
Ea, neuter
Ea.
plural.
These
These
things.
things. Exactly.
Okay.
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 So, if gods exist and they don't tell people what's going to happen, either they don't like us or they don't know what's going to happen, or they don't think we care, or they think it wouldn't do them any good to tell us, or they can't tell us. Those are the 5 options if those 2 things are true. Those 2 conditions. Gods exist and they don't tell us anything. Now he's going to negate all those options. At neque non diligunt nos. Sunt enim clarissimi boni quae hominum amici. Nathan?
Okay. But neither. And Dilly, is that in the? Yeah, that's in the. Is that in the glossary? Yeah.
Yeah.
But neither. But neither. Do they not like us?
Yes. Okay. So either these one of these 5 options is the case if those 2 conditions are true, and we're going to rule them out. Well, but neither do they not like us, nor do they. Response number 2, nor do they whatever. So that's why we have so many negatives. But neither do they not like us. Why? Sunt enim clarissimi bonique hominum amici.
For they are clarissimi. That's the superlative.
Good.
Very, very famous. Yeah,
Yes.
very, very famous. And very famous and good. And good of good friends of men.
Good. Okay, so they don't not like us, for indeed they are most noble and good friends of men. Okay, so that's not possible. We can rule out that they don't like us. What else can we rule out? Corey?
So, nesciunt.
Nesciunt is the
Is to know.
was to not know.
Is to not know. Oh, that's right. So, nor do they not know these things for themselves.
These things, quae, which constituta sunt ab ipsis.
Which, yeah, so I know that's like constitute, but I'm trying to find like a word that explains.
Yeah,
better
establish.
word. Establish. Okay. Which they establish for themselves.
Constituta sunt, is that active?
Constitute. No.
No.
No. Which,
The things which constitute a subject, perfect passive.
yeah, I'm trying to think of how I'd say that. Passive. Which they themselves are established in.
Is they themselves the subject of constitutation?
Um, no,
No. Qua is the subject,
the
the
things,
neuter.
right,
Yeah, the things which were established
were
ab
established
ipsis,
by themselves or
by
by
they
them.
themselves, by the gods. Okay. By them. Yeah. By those same beings. Okay, so they're our friends, so they don't not like us. And they established the future, so they don't not know what's going to happen. Following so far?
Yeah.
Okay. Rachel?
Okay. So neque nostra nihil interest scire ea quae futura sunt.
Mm-hmm.
And then the parentheses. So neither um, neither do they know or nothing of our interest.
Interest nihil, it is of no interest, we would say.
Okay, neither do they know
Words do they know?
scire. That's an infinitive. Okay.
Good job.
So neither nothing of interest
Neither it nor is it of no interest nostra
to us.
to us, scire ea quae futura
Oh,
sunt.
to know what will happen.
To know, well, not what will happen, but the things which will happen.
The things, right. Okay. Neither is it of no interest to us to know the things that will happen.
Good. So
These.
here we have a relative clause, nor is it of no interest to us to know ea, those things. What things? Well, the
Okay.
things which futura sunt. And so it's
Okay.
indicative. It's not an indirect question.
Okay.
Why? Well, edimus enim filetiores, etutiores, certiores de illo quod accidit si sciemus.
Do you want me to keep going?
Yeah.
Okay. So, indeed, we will be happier and safer.
Mm-hmm. And certiores.
So I was reading it as like at tutores and safer, and then like if we will know, and then more. I guess I tried to make a sandwich. I don't know if it's there.
Yeah, it's not really there.
Okay. So indeed we'll be happier and safer. And then
And I think really.
and more certain.
De illo quod accidit.
Okay. From knowing or sorry, from
did you translate certiores?
tutores. Isn't that safer? Happier and safer?
Tutores, yeah. Certiores.
More certain.
More certain de illo.
Concerning this,
Quod
which
accidit.
you fall upon.
Accido accidere is often an impersonal it happens. And it's a third, so accidit is it happens. Accidet is E, third conjugation.
Wait, would that would be future.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Which he will fall, or which will happen.
will happen. Okay.
Okay.
So we will be happier and safer and more certain about what's going to happen. Si sciemos.
If we know.
If we know. Exactly. Good. Nathan?
So, nor do they lead these things out. Are these things out of place? Yeah. Nor do they lead
Where
these things.
Yeah. Hawk is that singular or plural?
Singular.
Yeah. Nor do they lead this,
This.
and then you're gonna have to apply esse.
So this
To be
to be out of place.
gloria sua.
Their glory.
Yeah, but to their glory. Something.
To their glory.
Yeah. And we use out of place, well, foreign to their glory. Latin says foreign from their glory. Uses an ablative of separation.
Okay.
All right. They do not lead this to be foreign from their glory. They do not lead this to be foreign to their glory. They do not lead this to be alien to their glory.
Okay.
Do you understand sort of what that means?
They do not lead this.
We need a better translation for Duco. We need, in fact, the intellectual translation for Duco.
Is it consider?
Yes. Nor do they consider this to be.
Or do they consider this out of place?
Mhm.
Out of place. I think it's there's out of place with their glory.
Yeah, but we do not say out of place with in English, although Latin does. Alienum plus the ablative. We say out of place maybe with respect to, or foreign to, or alien to.
So with respect to their own glory.
Yeah. So what is he just saying?
Nor do they consider this out of place. I don't really understand.
So they do not consider revealing the future to be
out
foreign.
of place. Yeah, out of foreign.
From their glory.
In regards to their glory. Yeah.
So we can rule out the option. I feel like we're, do you know on the Princess Bride?
Yeah.
Yes.
That scene where this poison clearly cannot choose. Okay. We're working ourselves around in crazy circles. But anyway, we can rule out that they don't think it's in the interest of their glory because, well, nihil est enim beneficentia cladius melius quae.
So
Why can we rule this out? Because
nothing, or for nothing is nothing. So nothing is clear.
Nothing is Claudius.
Clear or
not clear. Claudius.
Clearer.
Yeah, more famous. From nothing is more famous, and Melius.
Something's more famous and better.
Beneficentia.
Oh, a kind deed.
And what case is it?
That's the accusative.
No? All?
Oh, ablative.
Yes. So for nothing is more famous and better than beneficentia. Yes, than benevolence. Than
a kind deed.
a kind deed. Ablative of comparison. Good.
Gotcha.
And the last one, Corey?
Yeah, so neither are they not able to know the future.
Good. All right. So we've ruled out all the options.
Mhm.
So
Alright, so
Igitur,
therefore,
therefore, non-distinct next.
so therefore the gods are not, and then
Yes.
they are not. So neck,
Nor.
nor sick. So neither. Okay, therefore the gods are not, nor signifying to us the future.
Yeah. So what he's saying is, therefore, gods do not exist and do not signify the future to us.
Okay,
But sunt
but
autem Dei.
however, gods are. There are
Gods do
gods.
exist. So
Okay.
we can rule out that gods exist and that they don't signify things to us. And we know that gods exist. So therefore, gods must exist and signify things to us.
Okay.
You gonna follow?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Rachel, you follow?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, good. Why don't you take the next little bit, Rachel?
The starting at
Significant igitur.
okay, significant igitur ad nos de rebus futures monendos. Therefore, they signify to us
Mm-hmm.
concerning affairs
Futuris.
going to be affairs that are
future affairs.
future.
Yep.
To warn us.
Yeah, so they signify ad nos monendos. To
Ad
warn
nos.
us about
Okay.
future things.
Future things. Okay.
And Nathan, will you take up to the parentheses?
Yeah. And if not.
Well, et non, comma, si significant futura, comma, nullos. So, and then the non is going to go with the main clause, nullas dant vias nobis, blah, blah, blah. So
Okay.
that comma tells you don't take the non with C. So, and if they significant futura, non nullas dant vias.
And if they Oh, and if they show future things,
then
they do not give
Good.
Do not give no. Do not give no.
What don't they give?
Streets?
In Latin?
What? Streets?
What's the Latin? The direct objects. They don't give.
Vias?
Yeah, nullas vias. They don't give no streets or no paths or no ways, as
okay.
we say, using that same metaphor of a way to mean a road, but also a method.
Okay, so they
and if they signify the future, they don't give
they
they don't give us no ways. They don't not give us ways.
So
ad signa intelligenda.
So they give us ways then.
Yes. But they don't not give us ways. We can rule out the idea that they don't give us
ways
ad signa intelligenda.
Ways. Ways to us.
Yeah, give us ways. You already said us.
I know. Give us ways.
And then ad plus signa intelligenda. So intelligenda is a what?
That's a gerund.
A gerundive. Yeah. So let's translate it as if it were a gerund, as if it were ad signa intelligendum. So, for intelligendum signa.
For to know.
For understanding.
Oh, for understand. Oh, yeah. So, for understanding.
Signa.
What's signa? Is that show?
Signs. Signa.
So for understanding signs?
Yes.
Warner. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so they have to be signifying. There are gods, and they are signifying things to us. And if they're signifying, they must also give us methods for understanding their signs. Frustra enim significaren. Otherwise they would be.
They would be shown in vain.
They would be showing in vain. Yes.
They'd be showing in vain.
A part of a condition, a present contrary fact condition, which is why we have the imperfect subjunctive. If they were doing that, what we just ruled out, then they would be signifying in vain.
Gotcha.
Corey, you finished it off?
So, nor if they give ways, it is not divination.
Or nor if they give ways, does divination not exist?
Does not exist.
Nor is there not divination if they're given ways. Estigitur divinatio.
Okay. Therefore, there is divination.
Therefore, there is divination. Therefore, divination exists.
Okay.
Good. And that's syllogism, which is hard to do in English.
Okay. What's
Rachel,
the non-est divinatio? So, like, if they give ways, divination does not exist. It indeed.
So the neck you've got to capture before the C.
Okay.
Yes. So if they give ways, does divination not exist? Meaning, if they give ways, paths of
it does exist.
Divination does not exist.
Okay.
It does exist.
This reminds me
Okay.
of Thomas Aquinas a bit. Summa Theologica.
Logic. It's surprisingly difficult to follow.
Yeah.
Especially if you're using multiple negatives. That just
Yeah,
goes
I wrote a paper on Thomas Aquinas. It's the same thing. It's like if God does not exist, but it's just all that. Not if he's similar. The double negatives and
Yes. Very strict logic.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of attention to follow. Takes a lot of attention to write. Okay, let's take a break there unless anyone has any particular questions. Okay, great.
Okay.
All right.
See you in 10. sort of freakishly white because of the background. To actually adjust it, I had a black sweater on, and I looked like a ghost. So I have white on. It is glowing white, and I look like I'm alive. It's barely the sun.
Our Lady of Snow.
Just so you know, I'm not dead. All right, just in case you're wondering. Okay, so I can quickly run us through indirect speech.
Indirect what?
The three forms of indirect speech.
Indirect statement,
Mhm.
indirect question, and an indirect. I don't remember the third one.
Question,
Statement.
Statement. You can either say something as the case, ask something to be the case, or
I don't know.
anyway, remember?
Command.
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 And indirect statement is formation.
Do you want an example?
No, just a formation. How do you form it?
With you in the second part or second clause, you make the direct object, or you make the subject accusative, and then you make the verb infinitive.
Good. And Corey, how do you do indirect commands?
Sorry. Direct command.
I know.
I know you know.
I feel your pain.
Okay. Indirect command. Gosh. I don't remember.
Rachel, do you remember?
An indirect command?
Yeah.
Does that have to do with the sequence of tenses?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which means you're going to have a what? If you have the sequence
A main verb.
in the subjunctive.
And yeah, subjunctive.
Yeah. If the subjunctive, if we have the sequence of tenses, there must be a subjunctive. And so we have what to introduce the subjunctive? Just like purpose clause, slightly different than result clause.
It's like oot.
Oot or nay.
Okay. Oot or nay. Okay.
Yes, oot or nay plus the subjunctive. Purpose is also oot or nay plus the subjunctive. Result is oot or
Oot non.
oot non plus the subjunctive. Good. Rachel, indirect question?
You will have an indicative main verb and then an interrogative word and then a subjunctive.
Right. And of course, with all subjunctives, the subject of the subjunctive is the nominative. Right? Only an infinitive that has an accusative subject. Okay. Good. Good. Is everyone really solid on sequence of tenses?
So.
So. Okay. Let's keep our eyes open for them. Where do we see a sequence of tenses?
Indirect questions.
Indirect questions.
Results clause.
Result clause.
Indirect commands. No.
Yeah.
Purpose clauses.
Purpose clauses. Yep. Indirect commands and purpose clauses and result clauses, as far as I can think, logically, would all either have the present or the imperfect, because you have to have a purpose that something, you can't do something so that something in the past will happen. You have to do something so that something subsequent will happen. The result, of course, has to be subsequent, and you can't command someone about the past. It's illogical. So it must be contemporaneous or subsequent. So in primary sequence, present, and secondary sequence, imperfect. It's only indirect questions where you could have the asking about something in the past. You can't command something in the past. You can't intend something. You can't do something so that something in the past will change. I mean, unless you have powers beyond mortal men, and we are only talking about the language of mortal men. So, yes. The sequence of tenses is, we'll mostly see the present in primary and the imperfect in secondary, because most of these things that are subsequent to the verb. Do you follow what I said? So that's sort of meandering one. So. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Never be shy. That don't make sense. Tell me so. So then let's look at Unit 17. This is our last syntactical, last morphology. We're going to learn the supine, the last aspect of Latin morphology, and then a little bit more syntax. Clauses of fearing, clauses of doubting, and clauses of prevention. Going into this, you should be able to recognize the supine and say it's a supine when you see it. You're not going to see it a lot, though. And clauses of fearing, you need to understand that very, very well, because otherwise you will be totally messed up. Clauses of doubting and clauses of prevention, they're like, if we're talking about ABC priorities, they're like C+ priorities. Like, you should know how to translate it, but I think it's fairly straightforward how to translate it, and I don't expect you, in a month to be able to summon up exactly how to form a clause of prevention. Whereas if you didn't know what an indirect statement was, or couldn't give any conditions, it'd be disappointing to us all. For prevention, not saying that it's not important, but just so you know how to prioritize. Okay. So fear clauses. This is the tricky one. Corey, you've studied Greek, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the same way as Greek, so hopefully it won't throw you for a loop.
Okay.
So a fear clause presents the content of someone's fear. In Latin as well as Greek, it is helpful to think of a fear clause as presenting the wish which is feared may not come to pass. So you should think of a fear clause as originally a wish and then an expression of fear. Ut vivat, may he live, said Timeo, but I'm afraid. So the way you say, I am afraid he may not live, is Timeo ut vivat. Nathan, if you just saw Timeo ut vivat, what would you think that meant?
I'm afraid in order to live.
In order that he lives?
In order that he lives, sorry. In order that he lives.
Or I am afraid that he may live, right?
Right.
But does it mean that, or does it mean the opposite of that?
It means the opposite.
It means exactly the opposite of what you would expect it to mean. Because we're thinking of the fear clause as the wish that you are afraid may not come to pass. So an example of the negative. Ne irate sit. May she not be angry. Sed vere eres. But you are afraid, but you fear. The fear clause, you are afraid that she may be angry, is vereres ne irate sit.
So how
it
do you
is
know
crucial.
So how do you know?
Well, you say, okay, timeo, vereo, they're both verbs of fearing. If you have a verb of fear, then ut or ne, you should say, what, if that were a wish, an independent subjunctive, ut vivat, an optative, independent optative subjunctive, what would it mean? May he live. Timeo means I'm afraid. So if you want him to live, what is your fear? Your fear is that he won't live.
So how would you say I'm afraid that he will live? Like, I'm afraid that this person will live because he's like...
Yeah, he's terrible.
Dictator or
Well, what
something.
would your wish be?
The wish would be that he did not live.
May he not
May
live.
he
So
not
you would
live.
say, not ut vivat, but you would say ne vivat, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Ne vivat. And so I'm afraid he may live, and therefore I will not get to inherit my large fortune. Timeo ne vivat. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so it is crucial to remember that fear clauses in Latin focus on the non-fulfillment of desire. Otherwise, your translation will convey the opposite of the Latin. Okay? So, you just have to remember that. If you remember it, you should be good. If you don't remember it, disaster will occur. All right?
No pressure.
No pressure. So do you understand how you'd figure out what it means, though? Rachel, did you get that?
I mean, you just have to know like the verb is fearing, so it'll always
Yes.
be like timeo or weneo.
Vereo.
Vereo.
It's
Okay.
a deponent. Vereor. To
Okay.
fear. Yes, or some word that means to fear there.
Okay.
Teritus sum, I am terrified.
Okay.
That is a fear clause. Anything that means something like fear. Yeah. Okay, good. Then doubt clauses. Doubt clauses are construed in two distinct ways depending on whether the doubt is being asserted or denied. So if you do doubt something, the verb of doubting is followed by an indirect question. Dubito num veritatem in hoc libro invenias. I doubt whether you'll find truth in this book. Dubitamus an licat in hanc vilam intrare. We doubt whether or not we're allowed to enter this house. But if the verb of doubt is negated, it is followed by queen plus the subjunctive. Non dubitabat queen. So that means literally something like he wasn't doubting but that. So he didn't doubt that it would be advantageous to him to learn the Latin language. Quis dubitat queen illam feminam audacium sit. Yeah, okay. So, again, I don't want you to be able to produce that. I just want you to see quin and accept that it means something like that. Although literally it means but that. Well, no. It's negated, but it translates as that, I suppose. Who doubts that that woman is brave? And then prevention clauses, so to express prohibition or prevention. Again, they're construed in two distinct ways, depending on whether the prevention is being maintained or denied. So if the prevention is positive, he prevented the soldier negladium stingeret. Then we have ne or quominus plus a subjunctive. He prevented the soldier. You prevent someone from doing something. In Latin, you prevent someone lest they do something. So he prevented the soldier lest he draw his sword, or in English, he prevented the soldier from drawing his sword. And then vos deteremus quominus nos mania voce laudetis, we prevent you from praising us loudly. But if the prevention is denied, it is followed by queen or quominus. Yes. Questions about that?
Could we translate the second ones? Prevention is denied.
Yes. Except these examples are terrible because there's no denial of prevention. So it should say pater filium non obstitit, quominus Athenas ambulare.
Okay.
Which means the father didn't prevent the son from walking to Athens.
Okay.
Something literally, more literally, like the father didn't prevent the son, but that he walked to Athens.
Okay.
But that is horrible in modern English, so you can say from plus a gerund in English, from walking.
Okay.
Okay. And I really don't think you just have to accept that Latin uses quo minus or queen or ne plus a subordinate clause, whereas English uses from plus a gerund. That's really the takeaway here. Okay, so clauses of doubting, indirect questions, except they're introduced by Quinn in the negative, which you should just translate it as that. And then clauses of prevention you should translate as if it were from plus a gerund. And then the last but not least, the supine, which is another verbal noun. So we have the gerund, whose nominative form is the infinitive. We also have the gera, the supine, which is a verbal noun. It only appears in two cases, ever, the accusative and the ablative, and its usage is very, very limited. You can use the accusative supine, but only with verbs of motion to express purpose. E dormitum, go for sleeping, go to sleep. Veni oratum, I came for praying, I came to pray. And then the ablative supine is used as an adjective, as an ablative of respect with certain adjectives. That's a typo. So opus est facile, the work is easy in regards to doing, or the work is easy to do. Dies erat dictu dignus, the day was worthy with respect to speaking, or the day was worthy of mention. Those are the only uses of the supine. And you'll barely ever see them.
Is it
if you-
formed like the gerund?
say that
Sorry.
again?
Is
Yeah.
it formed like the gerund?
It is basically the, you can pretend that the nominative is the fourth principal part. So dormio, dormire, dormivi, dormitus. Okay, so dormitus,
Yeah.
then the accusative would be dormitum. But it's a fourth declension, so the ablative is dormitu.
Okay.
So if you take the fourth principal part and pretend that that is a fourth declension masculine noun,
Okay.
you will have it. I think originally there must have been more cases. I have to think that, but there aren't. No. Clear enough? Sort of?
Yeah. I think
So
so.
how many ways can we express purpose? This is the way. This is where we have all our variety. Yeah.
Purpose clause.
Purpose clause. Ut plus the subjunctive and the sequence of tenses. So if on your final exam I asked you to write a purpose clause, you could do that. But if, say, you had a moment of terror, panic, oblivion, and couldn't remember the sequence of tenses, then, right, ut plus the subjunctive or qui plus the subjunctive, then what else could you do? Compensate for your mind blank in regards to sequence of tenses. Everybody has mind blanks every so often, so it's good to know. What would you do if that happened?
To add plus a gerund.
Odd plus a gerund or gerundive in the accusative case. Or if you had too many accusatives, for example, in your sentence, you might use
An infinitive, maybe? Or no, sorry.
you would never use an infinitive.
No.
Unless you were in the 12th century in Bavaria.
I will build a time machine.
In medieval Latin, they start using infinitives to express purpose.
Okay.
But that is because they're not native Latin speakers, and so they're doing what the Romance languages or the Germanic languages do. Latin does not do that. And medieval Latin will, and it becomes okay. But classic Latin never uses an infinitive to express purpose. There's so many other ways, right? So, ut plus the subjunctive, relative pronoun plus the subjunctive, odd plus the gerund or gerundive in the accusative case. What else? Gerund or gerundive in some other case.
Causa.
Causa.
And then genitive, gerund, or
Plus
gerundive.
gerund or gerundive in the genitive case. And finally, the supine with a verb of motion. Okay. So all those options.
Wait, so that's 5 options? Was that? Okay.
And odd and causa both have either a gerund or a gerundive.
Right.
So let's say, let's just do that. Let's do all the options. I'm coming to see you. I'm coming. Vengo, venire. To see, video, videre, you. Tu, tui, tibi, te, te. So, Rachel, I'm coming to see you. Which one do you want to do?
Let's do odd and the gerund. So
Actually,
no.
Sorry. It will be more. We will have trouble keeping track of these. Let's go with the order that we did.
Okay.
Can you do the oot clause?
Yeah.
So let you.
Okay. So Weneo,
Wenio.
Wenio, oot, and then present to see you. So
We do. We dere. Second conjugation.
we did. We dea. We dea to see. Oh.
Who's seeing?
I'm doing the seeing.
So
So
oot we de.
we deam. Te.
Say we down. Right.
Say we
I'm
down.
coming in order that I may see you. I'm coming to see you. Wenio ut te we down. Nathan, could you construe this with a relative clause of purpose instead of an
Relative
oot?
purpose. I'm not sure.
So, if there's a person in both the main clause and the purpose clause, you can use that pronoun that expresses that person.
So I don't really understand.
Corey, do you understand relative clause
Okay.
of purpose?
Isn't it pretty much the same thing, except instead of oot, it's qui?
Yes, except let's pretend let's just say Rachel is saying all these options.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Let's pretend Rachel is saying, we're giving her a script.
Okay,
What gender is she?
she's feminine.
Feminine. So we can't use qui.
Oh, so quai, is it?
Quai. When you quai te udam.
So
Yep.
so what's the difference? It's just the quay. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
Relative
Just do
clause.
relative clause. A relative pronoun instead of oot.
Okay.
Nathan, could you use a gerund? Odd plus the gerund?
Yes, I could do that. So odd.
Yes. Lenio.
When he and let me just write it out. When he and
Wenio, I'm coming. Odd.
right?
Right? Wenio.
When he we the end
So it's a
Okay.
second conjugation, so we dendum.
so we dendum te.
Ad te we dendum. Ad we dendum.
Ad te we dendum.
Okay, let's say Rachel is saying this to her imaginary sister. I don't know if you have a sister, it doesn't really matter. Okay, I'm coming to see you. She called her sister to tell her this. So, Rachel, what would you change if we wanted to use odd plus the gerundive instead of the gerund?
So it would have, I'm coming to see you. So it would have to agree in gender number in case with te.
Yeah.
To see you. So we then, and it needs to be accusative.
Yeah. She's accusative, singular, and feminine.
I'm sorry. It would still be we. No, because it declines differently.
Well, if you were talking to your brother, I don't know if you have any siblings, it doesn't really matter, then it would be ad te widendum. You couldn't tell if that were a gerund or gerund.
Oh, but
If
it's
your
feminine.
sister,
Okay. We dendum.
exactly. Renio ad te widendum.
Mhm.
Corey, could you do causa plus the gerund?
Yeah, so let's see. So it'd just be causa and then videndum te. Oh
Causa
wait, no, it would
takes
be the genitive, what's it for you? Tui.
So the gerund, you want to make te the object of the gerund. So I'm coming for the sake of seeing you.
Oh yeah, sorry. So of see. So venio causa and then vidiendum, would it be? Or,
Well, we then make it genitive. Not widendum, that's accusative, but widen.
oh yeah. Widendi or widendi.
Yeah, widendi causa. Venio te widendi causa.
Okay.
Causa always goes after the genitive. That's just custom. Nathan, could you, instead of a gerund, use a gerundive with causa?
No.
Okay, I'm Wenio. I'm coming for the sake of seeing you, te widendi, right? Of seeing, widendi, te, the direct object. Instead, we wanted to say, I'm coming for the sake of you being seen. So what do we have to do? Think you can do this.
So we'd have to so it would have so you'd put it in got it. So would you put it in it'd still be in the genitive.
What is it?
To see.
Well, seeing is being seen. It becomes an adjective. So we have to take the noun first and put that in the genitive. I'm coming for the sake of you.
So you have to be put in the genitive.
Yeah, and what's the genitive of the second person pronoun?
Two.
Tui.
Tui.
Wenio, tui, and then make
Scornio.
widendus aum agree with tui. And remember, Rachel is saying this to her sister, who is feminine and singular.
Okay, so that'd be when or we'd then we dende.
Widendi causa. Good. Wenio, tui, widendi causa. And then finally, we can use a supine. Accusative supine. Wenio, to see. Rachel, so
Okay. So when you
widete,
datus,
vidi, visus.
visus. Okay. So visus, but then in the accusative, and then it's feminine accusative.
No, then it's a verbal noun, so it's always masculine. Te will
Okay.
become its direct object.
So, visum.
Oh, good. Very good. Venia visum. I'm going to see you. And those all mean I'm coming to see you.
Latin, why?
But, I mean, we can say I'm coming to see you. I'm coming so that I may see you. I'm coming for the sake of seeing you. I'm coming in order to see you. I'm coming that I may see you. We don't have quite as many options, but we regularly have more options than Latin does. So Latin just decided to be extravagant in its purposes. Okay. Good. Let's look at page 285 and do some drills to practice verb clauses of fearing, primarily, and then also prevention and doubt. Remind me before we end this call to tell you about your homework because it is TBD. I mean, it has been D. Now it is TBA. So, verremur ne fulgor domus deleat. Corey?
Yeah. So, so we might have been seen, or we were seen.
Vide, you're thinking of video.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Vereri,
Yeah, what's that? What is that?
veritusum is a deponent that means I am afraid.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so we are afraid,
Mm-hmm.
or yeah, that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So let's see. That. Yeah, I'm not sure. So I see that. Okay, so we have fulgor, which is
Yes.
fulgor, which is the passive of first person, right?
No, this is a noun. Fulgor, fulgoris. It's lightning.
Okay, so we are afraid
Mm-hmm.
that lightning might destroy the house.
Houses. Good.
Houses.
We are afraid that lightning will destroy the houses or is destroying the houses. Good. Very good. So clause of fear explains why we do not translate it as we are afraid that lightning won't destroy the houses. Nathan, number 2.
Okay, so I didn't quite get what. All right, so.
So if you have a verb, if the main verb means something like I am afraid, then you should say, okay, this next clause is your actual wish that you are afraid won't come to pass. So the wish is ne fulgor domus deleat. May lightning not destroy the homes. But we are afraid, and so we say we are afraid that lightning will destroy the homes.
Okay. So then they are afraid that
Perfect.
they feared.
Yeah, they were afraid, they feared, they were afraid.
So they feared that that the enemies
Mm-hmm.
that the enemies fought.
Where's fought?
Apugnagaturi.
So, Opugnature essent, we have our paraphrastic. Opugnare is to attack.
Yeah. Okay, so they were afraid that the enemy would attack. That the enemy.
Mhm.
Uh,
The enemies
We're
were
going to
going
attack.
to.
The enemies were going to attack the town.
Exactly. So what was their wish?
Their wish was that the enemies do not attack the town.
Yes, may the enemies not be about to attack this town. Good.
Okay.
Rachel?
Veriti sumus ut UNS legibus novis paterent. So I was afraid.
Moose, excuse me.
I was thinking veriti.
Yeah, veritissimus. This is
Veriti.
veritusum. It's the opponent.
Oh, okay. It was feared. No,
It's
because it's the
passive
perfect
form.
passive, active in meaning.
Active and
Okay. So, sumus.
Mhm.
We were afraid.
We were afraid.
We were afraid that the legate. So UNS is I know this one.
Make an I and J.
Okay, so the young legate. But those don't match. Okay.
No, the UNS.
The UNS, the young people,
Yes.
the youth.
Yes.
Parerent is the imperfect subjunctive.
Mhm. So we were afraid
That the youth
Mhm.
Might was this one of no, this was
parere is to
Um,
obey.
okay, so that the youth might not obey the novice legate, and I want to say that like the new
Yeah.
legate.
Not legate is not right. Lex,
Or-
legis,
law,
laws.
new laws.
New laws. Yes.
The new laws.
Legislate.
Okay,
Legislator. A bringer of laws.
okay,
Good. And you were not led astray, right? We were afraid that the young men would not obey the new laws. Because your wish was, may the young men obey the new laws. Ut unis legibus novis parere. Corey?
So you were afraid that, let's see, the elders in the province
In the Noah provincia.
and that would be the youth, right?
Novus Salum is just an
Oh,
adjective.
new.
New. And it's agreeing with provincia.
It's agreeing with sorry.
Provincia?
Okay. So the new province.
Mm-hmm.
So you were afraid that the elders in the new province would not be useful.
Good.
Okay.
Yes. lots of negatives. Nay, nay. May they not be useful. You're afraid that they would not be useful. Good. Nathan, number 5.
Number 5.
Mm-hmm.
Of, or, I don't know how to translate this.
Well,
I doubt.
I was doubting. Yeah, but
I
dubito, if it's not with a clause of doubt, it means to hesitate. When it takes an infinitive, it means to hesitate. And we have dicere. So I was hesitating.
I was hesitating.
Mm-hmm.
About
I was hesitating to do something.
to lead.
Not ducere, to lead, but dicere.
I don't know. Decide.
No. Anyone? Dico,
To
dicere?
say.
To say.
I was hesitant
To speak.
to speak about.
Hawk.
De
plus the ablative.
About this
Mm-hmm.
of you.
Not of you. That'd be tui, but tibi.
Or to you.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, so I was afraid. So I hesitated to speak about this to you.
Yeah, I was hesitating to speak about this.
Okay.
Good.
I was hesitating to speak this.
Rachel?
Quis est qui dubitet quin multo optimus magister sis.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Est dubitet. What is, or
Quis est, who is there, who, yeah.
Who is
there, qui dubitet.
That form is tripping me up.
Okay, good.
I don't recognize the morphology, I guess.
Of dubitet?
Yeah.
Because it's dubito, dubitare, dubitavi, dubitatus. First conjugation.
Wait. Oh. So just he doubted?
Who is there who doubts?
Is that just present? Indicative?
No, that'd be dubitat.
Okay. It's
so present what?
Oh, subjunctive.
Yeah.
Okay. Who doubts Quinn. I feel like we just learned that was something special. Yes.
Yeah, clause of doubting.
Okay.
Quin plus the subjunctive, but you can just translate the quin as that.
Okay, that you are a much or so great master or
yeah, the best right,
master.
Multo.
That could be That'd be dative or ablative.
Dative or ablative? You are the best
Uh,
teacher.
too many.
That would be multis. Too many people.
Too
Too much? That doesn't make any sense. Dative doesn't seem particularly helpful.
Okay, so ablative of.
That's genitive.
That's okay. So with,
With,
by,
by,
for.
with much?
No.
By much? Does that make sense?
Oh, by much. So like you're much better, or
Yes.
you're better by much.
You are the best by
teacher.
far, we would say.
Okay. Okay.
So that's what kind of ablative?
You are the best. It's
I know. Ablative of
Degree.
agent. Okay, so I'm going through my head. I'm like, ablative means no. Ablative agent, no. Ablative absolute, no. But ablative of manner,
no.
but no.
Ablative of degree of difference.
Okay.
Ablative of degree.
Ablative of degree
How
of
by
difference.
how much are you the best teacher? Well, by a
By
lot.
much. Okay.
Yeah. And then 10 points of glory to the person who can explain the subjunctive of do the tet.
Indirect question?
Nope.
No, it's a direct question.
Qui is a relative pronoun, not quiz. That's interrogative.
A purpose clause of some sort.
No, people don't exist in order to doubt. That would have to be a purpose clause. Who is there who exists in order to doubt? No, makes sense.
Is this an no? Never mind. It's not an exclamation, is it? It's
No, it's a relative clause of something. It's not a relative clause of purpose.
Okay. Well, so it wouldn't just be a relative clause of result.
Nope.
So it would be
comparison.
characteristic.
Results. They don't have relative clauses of comparison, no. So yes, who said it?
Yeah,
Characteristic.
characteristic.
Okay.
Who is there the sort of person who would doubt? Who
Okay.
is there who would doubt? Not because maybe there is no such person, but who could possibly have the characteristic of doubting? But you are by far the best teacher. Good. Corey, you number 7.
Yeah. So we doubted.
Mhm.
Now on, is that or? Is that a comparison?
On can mean or if it introduces an indirect question, it means whether or not.
Okay, so we doubted whether senes. So I'm gonna something about dawn. What is senes?
Yes, at dawn. Senes, senile.
Oh yes, the old man.
Yes.
The old men
Mhm.
at dawn. Would venture.
Would come when you wenters, yeah. We're going to come.
Okay. Oh yes. Okay. We doubted whether or not the old men would come at dawn.
Yes. Good. Nathan? Number 8.
You doubted,
You doubt. Did you tell
or you doubt, yeah, you doubt. You doubt that we know, or you doubt whether.
Not on whether, but num that.
So
You-
you doubt that we know many things.
Not multa, but multum, just a lot. And discamos does not know.
Learn
Yes, whether you doubt that
that we learned a lot.
that we are learning, right?
We are learning.
Why wouldn't it be we learn? We learned.
Is it the subjunctive? No.
Well, it is subjunctive, but subjunctive can have multiple tenses.
Right.
What tense is discamos?
Is it present tense?
It's present, yes.
So you doubt that we learned,
That we are learning.
that we are learning a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully, you don't have to say that to me. Their doubt would be very misplaced. And perhaps you could instead assert, Rachel, number 9, non dubitamos quin multum discamos.
We do not doubt
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
you are learning a lot.
Discamus.
Or we are learning a lot.
We have no doubts, however, that we are learning a lot. Good. We'll just pause there. We can keep going, but do you have questions thus far about fear clauses, the supine and/or doubt or prevention clauses?
They seem pretty straightforward so far.
And that was their goal, right? Unit 17 is way easier than Unit 2 was.
Yeah.
But you also have way more to remember than
Yeah,
you
that's
did.
true.
Right? You still need to know conditions, which are like Unit 2 or 3. You need to know purpose clauses. You need to know result clauses. You need to know the 5th declension.
So I had a quick question. So like in the intermediate course, does everything just become irregular in the intermediate? Is that it?
No, so
Because that's what happened to me in Greek. It's like these are the rules, and then intermediate the first semester was now no one follows them. It was all
yeah. The advantage of Latin is that people do follow them.
okay. Thank goodness.
There are very few Latins. There's classical Latin, and that's what most people study. There's medieval Latin, which is easier because they use infinitives to express purpose. And they're people who are not speaking Latin natively, they're speaking Romance languages and use something that's related to a Romance language. And so they use words that are related to modern English and modern French and modern German words. So it's slightly easier. Also, if you're not a native speaker, you tend to speak less eloquently. So medieval is easier. Classical is what you've learned. So you can do both of those. Then there's archaic Latin, and there's probably like together maybe 50 pages of it, and you'll only read it if you decide to get a PhD in this. So
Okay.
basically all the Latin there is. I mean, okay, with some exceptions, like Biblical Latin is a little weird because it's trying to be Greek also. And I mean, Jerome translated, such a literal way as sometimes it doesn't make sense unless you know the Greek.
Okay.
He's just copying Greek idioms into Latin.
So Corey's got a head start on that one.
Yes.
I'm on a campus where people speak in like these arcane, phrases, and so maybe.
Yeah, but Greek, there are like, 40 Greeks. Like there's Homeric Greek, there's Doric, there's Koine, there's tons and tons and tons of different Greeks, which sort of reflects the political difference, right? Rome, you have a big empire, big business, big empire. keep it all uniform.
Yeah.
In Greece, there's no Greek Empire. Each city
Well,
has
and then
their own
especially in
language.
the patristic period, everyone's trying to recreate what they think is sophisticated Greek because they're all speaking Koine,
Yeah.
and so every author has his own like form. Yeah. And the Alexandrians are the worst.
The Alexandrians are difficult, and in the patristic era, the late antique era, that's sort of the fashion. Is very difficult. So you have a little bit of that also in Latin. I'm writing on a late antique man who's like that. But Latin likes to follow rules a lot more. It has fewer rules, and it follows them more.
Yeah, that's keeping
Yeah.
with the Roman spirit. That's good.
It's really how you can tell a Latinist apart from a Hellenist. A Hellenist is like, rules are nice, but let's just do whatever we feel like. And a Latinist is like, there are rules and you should follow them, but that's why they're there. Okay, so really, you can tell people apart in a department. I am a Latinist, just so you know. Okay, maybe we'll do a few more. Yeah. Let's do number 10, just because we have 3 accusatives, all for different reasons. Whose turn was that?
I think it's my turn.
Okay.
So, same drill, number 10.
Yeah.
Okay. So that would be they went to Rome. Wiesen.
Yeah.
To visit.
To see Visus is
Oh,
the
to
fourth
see,
principal
it is,
part of
okay.
Video.
Okay. To see Caesarea.
Not Caesarium, but Caesarem, which is Caesar,
Caesar.
Caesarus. Right, Caesar. So, explain all the accusatives.
Okay, so, well, we went to Rome.
To
So
Rome,
that right
Roma.
there, it's an accusative of location, right?
Accusative of motion towards.
Or motion towards. Okay.
Name of a city,
Oh, yeah,
town,
yeah,
or
I
small
see.
island.
Yeah. Ablative would be in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so, and then we have to see, but that's is that a participle? No, I mean,
Formed from a
it's like
participle. It's the last thing we have just learned. The last morphology. Aspect of Latin morphology.
yeah, it's I'm sorry, what is
Supine.
that? It is supine. Okay, and then the object is also in the accusative, and that's Caesar.
Yeah. So it's in
Because
the
it agrees with the object, right?
No, it's a verbal noun. So we came to see, and then what we see, Caesar. We could see towns, and it would be urbes visum, to see towns or cities. Visum is...
But it'd still be in the accusative, right?
Yeah, because you put the supine in the accusative to express purpose.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
And then Nathan, will you take number 11?
Yeah. Pain pain was there had been.
No, just was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, pain was
Difficulous.
difficult.
Mm-hmm. Latu.
I don't know what latu is.
So latu is the supine, meaning it's coming from a verb whose fourth principal part is latus.
Latus. What is latus?
Something, something, something latus.
Yes, I'm trying to.
Yes, and this is for everyone. This is a tricky, I think the worst principal parts in Latin, the trickiest ones.
Is it to speak?
No, no, dico, dicere, dixi, dictus.
Well, I mean, like loquor.
Loquor, loqui, locutus sum.
Oh, locutus. Okay, yeah, locutus. Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Latus.
I don't know.
I'll tell you the third principal part. Tuli.
Tuli.
What?
Something, something, tuli latus.
I remember this too.
It's an irregular. I'm giving you so much.
I would hope so.
I mean, it's irregular in the present system. One of your irregular verbs.
Oh, is it like the future to be? Like, no, it's for.
Nope.
I don't know. I don't know.
So your irregular verbs, you have sum, right? That's not
Right.
it. Sum esse fui futurus. What else do you have? I'll give you irregular.
Ao,
Eo,
ire,
ire.
iui, itus?
Not that.
Itus.
You
Yeah.
have,
Not sum, not eo.
you have be able to like protest.
Possum, right? Possum, posse, potui. Not that. You
Oh, we
have the
learned it.
3 ones of wishing. Wolo,
Okay.
nolo, and malo. None of those. Wolo, wele, woloi, nolo, non, nole, nolui, malo, male, malui. So I think maybe there are only 7 irregular verbs in Latin. Is that possible? Starts with an F.
Pharaoh.
Pharaoh,
Pharaoh.
fere,
Tuli latus.
latus. Pharaoh, fere,
Okay.
tuli latus. Okay. And so the sentence is
So
sorrow was difficult.
difficult.
Do you remember what Pharaoh means?
Yeah, but I don't know
Yeah.
how to.
Just translate it as an infinitive, really.
To carry or to hold?
Yeah. To endure.
To endure.
In respect to enduring is a more literal translation, but we're just saying to endure. Sorrow is difficult to endure.
Okay.
Okay, but the liber erat facilis lectu. The book was easy lectu,
To carry.
to not latu, to carry, lectu, to read.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
Book was
Okay. Okay, good.
homework.
Homework. Thank you. Do unit no, exercise 1. 1 through 5 and 25 through 29. Just a bunch of short sentences to practice these. Not even a bunch, a few. And then do for exercise 2, just number 2.
Okay.
But number 2 has A, B, C, and D.
Okay.
So you can practice tenses.
Okay.
Okay,
All right, perfect.
good.
See you
Thank you.
Hey,
tomorrow.
I had a quick question about the
Yeah.
Old Testament really quickly. So I was thinking about ordering the Vulgate, and it's like it is translated by Jerome. at least the text that I have. So I was wondering, was that the received text of the Catholic Church? Is that the text I want to work with? Or is there another text maybe I should consider?
The Vulgate?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the Clementine Vulgate is the official edition of the Vulgate.
Okay.
Yeah, the Vulgate is roughly translated by Jerome at the order of Pope Damasus, and that's, roughly speaking, the only Latin translation around.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Cool. Have a good one.
Okay.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.